Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today's Wednesday, August 2. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick. And we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. So got a couple things here to update and we should be good to go. All right, perfect. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. All right. It's good. All right, so I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And then we'll get started shortly, guys. One last place. So, looks like we are good to go, guys. So, all right, with people still making their way into the room, I'm gonna go ahead and mark up liquidity. Happy Wednesday, guys. Today's Wednesday, August 2, 6:24 right now. Market's gonna open in about 6 minutes. So I'm gonna start off with the weekly time frame over here. I'm gonna use a high-low indicator to identify liquidity. So I'm gonna go ahead over here. Mark that up. Weekly liquidity. Let's go down to the daily. Eight-hour. So price has been dumping since market closed yesterday, and retail sentiment is very high. So I think price will likely push up today. So I'm more focused on like liquidity that's up top, but I mean, we'll see. It might be like yesterday, but we had like that crazy push on open for our back to that 2-hour one there. 2-hour. One-hour. $30-minute. So we're not getting down to the lower level liquidity here. 15-minute. And 10-minute. All right, so looks good right there for the most part. So it looks like we have liquidity on the top right here, which is about 1,000 pips away. It's not that far out. Put it right there. And then we have a low level liquidity right here, which will probably get hit on open. Two levels of liquidity right there. One at 35,552, the other one at 35,684. Marked up liquidity right there. Let's take a look at news for today. So I believe there was news earlier today. August 2nd. Over here, we had ADP non-farm employment change, basically changing employment today, 5:15. So I'm gonna go here to the, oh crap, I just deleted the main chart. What's this one? No, it wasn't. Damn, I literally deleted my main chart. There you go, main. All right, perfect. Go back over here. All right, so I'm gonna go and mark up news real quick. So we had news at 5:15, right? Yeah, news at 5:15, which is right over here. Red candle. All right, news right there at 5:15. Let me take a look at my FX book. News at 5:15, 5:30. It's not really, it's low impact on 6:10. So there's news over here at 6:10 as well. Not high impact, but news at 6:10. All right, other than that, we got news at 7:30. That's pretty much it. All right, guys, market is opening in about 30 seconds. Retail sentiment is very high right now. It's about at 7:30. All right, so retail sentiment's currently at 80% short, indicating that 80% of retail traders are currently selling right now. Typically, we want to do the opposite and buy. Fundamentals over here are opposite. They're very down right now. They're down at about 200 points. So there's a bit of a mixed overall bias for today. So looking over here at the shorter time frames, price is bearish below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. Higher time frames over here, it's bearish neutral. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and mark up. Let me go and mark up the overall bias. So you can see price is pushing up. I think price will eventually push up today, but it's probably going to take some time until it does. So today's overall bias, retail sentiment, bullish, 80% short, fundamentals, bearish, negative, well, is it like 140 points? You can see price is pushing up though. I'm expecting price to push up. Short-term technicals, put bearish. Long-term technicals, I'll put bearish, neutral. So we got to wait for a confirmation. I mean, price is pushing up. I do expect price to push up today because of the sentiment. It's so high, but it's probably not going to be a smooth push to the upside. So there goes our main chart right there. Here's the liquidity. Liquidity did not get hit yet. You can see there's liquidity up top, liquidity on the bottom. Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much just going to wait for a bit here until we have a better confirmation of direction and price. So my bias would probably be a buy, but for the most part, we're going to wait and see, you know, obviously where this ends up going. So let's see what's here so far. Morning Shannon, morning Ben Hartwig, morning Dan, morning Kevin, morning Randy, morning Johnny, morning Cern, morning Kenny, morning Daniel, morning Vince, morning everybody. All right, guys, so market is open. Today's August 2nd, 6:31 right now. Market just opened up. Minute into the market. You guys can see the manipulation here on open. Everything was pretty much bearish except for retail sentiment, but retail sentiment is super heavy on the sell side. So it's currently, I mean, it's still at 80%. Now it's at 79%. Seems like some of these people got stopped out. Whoever was chasing that 1% from, or now it's back to 80. So looks like they doubled down back into the position after getting pretty much wiped out right here on the spike to the upside. So we'll see where this ends up going. Price just ended up spiking up like about 500 pips. So, I mean, it's not big, it's also not a small push. It's just, it's good enough for market open, basically wipe people out. So let me go over here to the clean chart as well. I'm going to mark up opening candle right there, 6:30, 8 o'clock, and I'll mark up opening price right here so that you guys have a good understanding as to like market structure for today. Again, as you guys know, this blue line right here is going to be the opening price. So whenever price pushes away, you can typically predict that price will come back and retest that area. If it doesn't come back and retest, then price is likely to keep pushing in that direction. So if price pushes above it and it keeps climbing, it's probably going to keep pushing that direction. If price pushes below and it keeps dropping, then price is probably going to keep dropping that direction, right? You can see over here, there's no confirmation of direction yet. Price just keeps going back and forth. It's the same thing that's been happening for the past 2 weeks now. Price is right back at opening price. No surprise there. Until it really determines which direction it wants to push to, right? So we have the high point right there. We have low point right there. So yeah, we'll see where this ends up pushing to, but you can see right here, price is not really doing too much. It's just sitting down the middle. It's literally where it's been pretty much past 2 weeks. So we really want price to push away from this area. Looking over here at the ATR is currently 15 right now. It's really slow for open. It should be around 20 right now on open. So volatility is still very low. It's fine right now. It's at 15, so it's okay, but it should be higher. It should be around like 20, 22, 25. It's not a big deal though. So we're just gonna wait. And then hopefully this picks up and we can start looking for entries. So for example, right here, price is starting to push back down. If this is the case, then we can maybe start looking for possible entries here for a sell. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say to, jump in and start looking for sells, but if it does continue to drop, there's a possibility right there. So I'm going to go to market bar levels real quick. So that we can follow through and we can pretty much see and understand the movement here. All right, so I have the price points marked up right there, pretty much marked up at every 10th. We have a sell signal right here. The 5 minutes not really useful to us right now. You can see because there's no confirmation of bearish trend. I mean, it's somewhat bearish, but it's not very strong, so it's not going to be too useful for us. However, right here on the 1 minute, we do have a sell signal. We just need to push in that direction. Once we get a retracement, we can have maybe possible entry. So we're just looking for price to push down in a direction, look for the retracement, and then look for possible entry. We have the sell signal right here, so we actually need price to push down a bit further. So price is currently right here at top. We need price to push down a little lower, come down, and that's where we make our entry at a lower point down here for 100 pips. So until we get that, I mean, obviously no entry here. You can see there's still no direction. Volatility is still remaining high. So it's just a waiting game per usual. All All right, so price looks like it's pushing back up. There's just no direction here. You can see price is now pushing back up. This is fine if it does. If this pushes back up, we have a buy signal right here that's pending, so that's cool too. The 5-minute here is just not really too useful for us because there's not really going to be a confirmation anytime soon. Price really needs to push away from where it's currently at, so we'll focus here on the 1 minute for now. Price, we have a buy signal right here. We don't have a bullish confirmation of trend yet, but if price continues to push up higher, then we will likely get that confirmation. All right, so what we're looking for here is we're looking for a buy signal. We do have a bullish trend right here. We have price above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are angling up. So once we get that buy signal right there, I'm going to be looking for price to push up. So I want this here to close, didn't close yet with the buy signal. Once it closes, I want it to push up higher, retrace, and continue on. If that happens right there, I'll be looking for entry right there, basically, right? So, yep, just going to be waiting. So that price point is going to be 35,620. It's really just a waiting game at this point. So just gotta wait. It's fine if this is an invalid signal. We just need to let it close. Once it closes, we'll see if that pushes up even higher. And then from there, we'll look for the retracement. So the way that we're trading here, guys, this is like pure price action. It's just we're using the indicators to identify the structure, to identify the direction, to identify the momentum. So majority of strategies, when you guys are trading technical analysis, it's basically price action. It's just my indicators here basically show you exactly what to look at. So you're not kind of just lost looking at like where price is moving. So we're looking for momentum here, which we have a buy signal. We have a bullish trend, prices above the pivots, trend meter is green, or it was green, pivots were angling up. But now we just need price to push up. So this is the price action we're looking for. We're looking for price to push up, retrace, and then we make entry at a key level. So I mean, that's basically what we're looking for and waiting for here. So there we go. This price pushes up a little higher. So it's fine if price retraces to like any of these levels right here, really. Price can even retrace down to this level right here, the 10. And that'll be fine as well. We just need this green candle here to close. All right, so it closed right there. We get a red candle here. We can enter right over here, but we don't have that red candle yet, right? So we're pretty much waiting for that red candle there to close. If it pushes up higher, that's fine too. But we really just need that red candle to close. We got about 40 seconds left on this candle right here, so we got some time. If it ends up closing below here, then entry be down here at the 10 mark. So either at the 20 or the 10, depends on where this candle closes. ATR is currently at 18, so it's good. Volatility is looking all right. So we're just looking for this candle to close. If it closes red and it's above this black line, entry is going to be here at the 20. If price closes below, it's going to be at the 10. So we're just pretty much waiting for this candle here to close. We got 10 seconds left. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, so I'm in the position right there. Let me see if it, I think filled pretty quick. I probably should have waited for it to enter down here at 10, but it's okay. I'm already in it, so I can't really do anything about it at this point. All right. Volatility is at 18. So the volatility is decent right now.
All the fit.
All right, I'm out, guys.
All the fit.
All out, full TP right there. Quick move. So quick thinking right there, guys. I told you what was going to happen. I said we were looking for price to push up, look for the retracement. If this candle right here closed at that point, I'm going to enter at the 20, which I did. Entered at the 20, filled it, full TP. Nice, easy win right there. So Good profit, guys. Easy as that. Okay, so we're done with this momentum signal. Now we got to wait for the next one. Now you got to be patient, be disciplined, don't FOMO, don't do anything dumb. Just wait for, that next move to happen. All right, so we're just waiting for the retracement. Oh, solid. One thing that I did too, guys, is all right, so it didn't really help. So I was trying a couple different things. I split up my FTMO into 100K accounts to see if it would give me better execution and better profits. It doesn't look like it did. It's still about the same. I connected my personal account because I wanted to see how it worked with Hanko. Gave me some negative profits right there. My MFF still gave me like half profit. So I was trying to split up all my accounts into smaller accounts, but it didn't necessarily help. But we'll see how this ends up going. So I basically requested to have my FTMO split up into a bunch of multiple, like 400K accounts instead of 200, two 200K accounts. So when you guys see my, oops, how do I change this? Crap. Yeah, so when you guys see my profits, I actually have like a bunch of accounts. I have like 8 accounts on my copier. So I'm trying to experiment a little bit so I can maybe trade my personal account, but I think the execution times and the spread with like Hanko is not good. So I'll show you guys my profits right here. I'll see. Oops. Yeah, I might put this thing in freaking full screen mode. I don't know how to fix it. Okay, there we go. All right, so yeah, definitely, Matt. Matt said, great trade, boss. Van Harwick said, wizard. Definitely, thanks, guys. Now we're just waiting for the next one. But we have some downtime right here. So if you guys have prop to post up, feel free to send them in. And then, we're going to wait for that retracement. So we're just waiting for price to retrace here. Once price retraces, we'll look for another entry point. But right now, there's nothing for us to take. So if this is the case, I'll keep trading my Hanko account and I'll see if it gets better. If it doesn't get any better, then I'm not going to trade my personal account. I just put like 700 in there. And then I just wanted to see if it would execute the trades properly and get me in and out as it should. So. All right, here are my accounts. You guys can see my copier now. I have about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 8 accounts on my copier now. Before I only had like 5 accounts. Now I have 8 accounts because I have 4 FTMOs, 3 MFFs. I was going to split my MFFs into 100K accounts too, but I mean, if it doesn't help, there's no point in me splitting them up. So yeah, I got 4 FTMOs right here. I got my Hanko right here. It's a negative $2. It should have been in profit, but it is what it is. And I mean, we'll see. But don't worry, guys, there's no entries for us right now. So now we're just gonna wait and reset this here to play out. The 5-minute over here, no entry. But you guys saw how the entries came up on my screen over here on TradingView, right? So I'm just trading directly on TradeOvate. So I'm putting my pending orders on TradeOvate, and then I'm just executing them. Well, they're showing up on my TradingView over here. So I don't think there's anything wrong with TradeOvate, guys. I see a lot of people complain about it, but guys, it's not TradeOvate. Like, trust me, like, if you suck at trading, guy, like, just to be blunt with you guys, if you suck at trading, it's not the broker, bro. It's you. Like, if you keep losing trades and they're not trades we're taking here on the live session, you're probably the problem, right? It's not the broker. Because I see a lot of people complain about TradeOvate, but I'm taking the trades on TradeOvate, and there's no problem with TradeOvate. You just gotta put the entry directly on TradeOvate, not on TradingView. I know there's an issue between TradingView and TradeOvate, but quick fix to that is to just put your pending order on TradeOvate. It's not that difficult. So just a heads up, guys. I actually like TradeOvate a lot. And I like how it says when the orders get filled and when the fork orders get out. So that you guys really know when I'm getting in and out of the position. So there's like full transparency here when I'm entering the trades. So I'm going to continue using TradeOvate, guys. I would probably be careful trading directly on TradingView. Just trade on TradingView. It's the same thing. It shows up on my screen still here, and you guys can see the orders get filled right here as well. So just a heads up. But other than that, there's no entries for us right now. We're looking for a sell signal here, and we're looking for a buy signal. Once we get that, we can start looking for another buy entry. But right now, we just don't have anything at the moment. So looking over here, we have Kenny. Kenny total profit of 2,640 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Full TP on that move. We have Dre over here. Dre locked in a total profit of 2,267 for the day. All wins. Nice work, Dre. Yeah, Dre said scared to take big lots. It's all good. You can take smaller lots and just take more trades. So you're solid. Let's see what else we got over here. Perfect, Kenny. I'll take a look at that a little later. Your metrics, because I'm logged into my FTMO, so I don't know if it'll show me yours. Here's Maddie over here. Maddie locked in a total profit of 890 for the day. Nice work, Maddie. On his Top Step account. Here's Kip. Kip locked in a total profit of 2,929 for the day. Nice work, Kip. And then we have Sisu over here, total profit of 2,390 for the day as well. Nice work, Sisu. We have Gian over here, total profit of 1,620 for the day. Nice work, Gian. Gian said spread killed him on that one. Andreas over here, total profit of 860 for the day. Nice work, Andreas. We got Vincent over here, total profit of 305 for the day. Nice work, Vincent. We got Kenny here, 2,600. David here, total profit of 31 for the day. Nice work, David. And that's pretty much about it for now. You know, taking individual screenshots on my account is going to be a little more difficult, guys, because I have so many accounts. So I think what I'll do here is I'll just take a screenshot of the profits of the accounts that are like slightly different. And then I'll just post one of like the ones that are copies, not only copies, but so my main account got 1,110. My other FTM was got 860. So we're looking for a sell signal here, guys. That's basically the first thing we're looking for, a sell signal. And then after that, we're looking for a buy signal. So until we get that, there's no entries for us to take here yet. Nice. CJ said it was late, but caught that trade just in time. Nice work, CJ. Kenny as well. Kenny said good morning. Caught that one earlier. Appreciate it. Definitely, Kenny. Yeah, solid work, guys. You guys did pretty good so far. Yeah, we'll probably get another entry here. The volatility is pretty nice today. I'm hoping the volatility stays high, because if not, then you know it's going to be kind of slow. All right, so let me post up all my profits. It's gonna take a while. All right, so we got that. All right, so now I got so many accounts now on my copier. Okay, so here's my main account. I got 1,000 on this one, 1,010. This is my main FTMO account. Here's my FTMO number 2, 860, FTMO number 3, 860, FTMO number 4, 960, MFF number 1, 560, MFF number 2, 560, and then my last MFF account, total profit of 560 as well. So a lot of guys were like worried and concerned about MFF changing the leverage. Didn't change anything for me, right? Nothing's different. Maybe if I drop down to 100K account, it'll make a difference, but I'm on a 200K account. I'm already capped at 100K lots. It's not making a difference. Leverage doesn't make a difference for me, unless they haven't made updates yet, but My counts are still the same. It's still executing the same way. Not really much of a difference there. So those are all of my profits so far. I have a -2 on my Hanko account, but that's whatever. I'm not, if it gives me another negative on the next trade, then I'm just going to take my personal account off. You just can't really scalp with Hanko but yeah, I guess Hanko. That's the hard part about scalping, guys. It's really finding reliable brokers that you can trade with, because liquidity sucks, spread sucks, execution sucks. It's just, it's a whole plethora of like things that you have to look out for when you're scalping. So that's why I can't really scalp with too many brokers, because not a lot of them are like equipped to allow for scalping. We have CERN over here, total profit of 1,865 on his first account, and then a total profit of 2,090 on his second account. Nice work, CERN. All right, guys, great work right there. Yeah, Rashida said price is squeezing. That's fine. That's cool. If it does, yeah, it looks like price was squeezing right here, then it faked out below. It's going to swing right back up. So we're looking for that buy signal right here. That's basically the main thing we're focusing on and waiting for over here. There's no confirmation of trend here on the 5-minute yet, so it's still kind of pointless. We're not really going to look at that right now until we have a real confirmation of trend. So right here on the 1-minute, we're looking for a buy signal. Once we get that buy signal, we can look for the retracement and continuation back to the upside. But right now, price is in between these pivots, so this is not a good area to be trading in, of course, right? We want price to be up here, right? So we're not really looking for entries until price gets around this area up here. It's just a matter of time until it gets to that point. So we just got to be patient and wait for this here to push back up. Until then, even if we get a buy signal, there's not going to be opportunity for entry yet. So it's got to sit tight, guys. Sit tight, be patient, don't force anything. There's really no need to force anything. As I mentioned before, guys, there's no time limit for a lot of these funding companies anymore. So, whether it takes you a week, whether it takes you a month, whether it takes you months, take your time, because it's better just one and done it. Like take the challenge once or the combine once, pass it, get funded, and then have that good discipline when you're funded. Because I've seen so many people get funded and they blow their accounts right after because they try to do something different. Just get into the routine of being patient, waiting for the entries to come to you. And then once they come, you can start looking for possible entries. So for example, here, price is dropping, right? Price is dropping. The trend meter's not red yet. We don't have a confirmation of trend. If price continues to drop here, that's completely fine. Doesn't make a difference for us. Price drops a bit lower, retraces up, retraces up. If that's the case and price stays below here, then we'll take entry down here, right? You don't have to keep looking for buys. So it's really just being patient and waiting for the confirmation, guys. There's no confirmation of trend here yet. The pivots are starting to shift, but they haven't confirmed yet. So once they shift and confirm, so once all the pivots are angling down and price is below the pivots and we have a red trend meter down here, then that's completely fine. We'll start looking for a sell. You just got to be patient and wait for that entry to come to you, because the entry is going to come. Like, it's inevitable. The entry is going to come eventually, because these trends are going to confirm at one point or another, right? So I think the main thing here is really just waiting for the entry to come. I know there's a lot of opportunity to follow here because you see price dropping. You're like, well, I need to chase that trade. But realistically, if you chase that trade, you're probably going to get stopped out, because what's going to happen is as soon as you enter the trade, price is going to go the complete opposite. And I'm sure that's happened to you guys a lot of times. And I'm pretty sure it's made you guys it's made a lot of you guys upset when that happens, because there are a lot of these losses that a lot of people run into. They realize that they could have just avoided it if they just listened to me, right? So just listen to me, guys, be patient, be disciplined, and wait for that entry to come to you. So like down here, you can see the trend meter is now turning red, right? That's fine. If that's the case and price continues to drop lower, but in order for it to stay red, price needs to stay below this point here, right? Just stay below here. And then once you stay below this point, this is going to remain red. And once we get that retracement, so like say, for example, price comes around here, retraces, comes down a little lower, retraces, and then it comes down from this point. Once it's down here, great. We'll look for a sell right there. Perfect. Straight to the money. But the main thing here is that you guys have to be patient. So, I can tell you guys a million times to be patient. Probably like maybe 20 or 30% of you guys are going to be patient. A lot of you guys are just going to be taking random trades here, trying to chase the drop. or chase the push to the upside and then end up getting stopped out. Yeah, Kenny said that's happened to me. Yeah, no, I think it's happened to everybody. A lot of people just aren't, they just won't admit it, but I know it's happened to a lot of people because it's happened to me a lot of times before I became consistent. Vince is asking, would you have taken the V1 at 653? Let's see, 653. I don't think there's a bias right now for a buy, Vince. So was there one right here? I think. Let's see. Yeah, so you're talking about this V1 right here. I wouldn't say there's a bias right now because if you look over here at the trend, the long-term trend is bearish right here. So you obviously wouldn't be looking for a buy. Short-term trend over here is bearish as well. So you wouldn't be looking for a buy. The only confirmation of a buy here would be the retail sentiment, but the fundamentals over here are still down. So we actually have a bearish bias right now because it's bearish. It's down 158 points. The technicals here are bearish. So you obviously wouldn't be looking for a buy. Yeah, so I wouldn't have taken that there because you have to look at the overall bias. If you're taking the V1 variation, you have to look at the overall bias, and that bias is going to indicate, you know, where you should be looking for a trade. Right now, it's a bit mixed. So it's a bearish neutral right now. That's what I would say. Yeah, so it's still bearish right here. Short term is bearish. Long term is still bearish neutral. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, still bearish right now. Yeah, and Andrew said it's right after a momentum signal as well. Yeah, making it a bit risky. All right, so as you guys can see over here, the trend meter is shifting very quickly, right? It's going from like red to blue to green to blue to back to red. That's why you don't want to trade around this area. This is not a good area to be trading in. You want it to be pretty, pretty solid and pretty confirmed. So you can see right here, it's back to red. I don't really care to trade around this area right here. Like this area right here is not, it doesn't look good to me at all. I need price to be a little lower down here. Once we get that, then we can look for a possible entry for a sell. So I'm just going to leave the circle right here so that you guys have an idea what I'm looking for. I don't want my entry to happen somewhere down this area, this black line or this black line right here. Yeah, exactly. Gian said it's also on opening. Andrew said keeps rejecting on open. Yeah, this blue line here, guys, is really key. A lot of people don't really pay attention to it, but it's really important because you can see over here, this is exactly what I said earlier, right? So on open over here, I said if price pushes away from opening price, it's probably going to, and if it comes back, so say for example, well, I mean, not even for example, it actually happened here. Price pushed away, came back down, and where did it go to? Opening price, right? So a lot of people don't pay attention to opening price, but opening price is an area of manipulation. Because whenever price comes back, so for example, price is here right now, right? One of three things can happen, not even one of two things, one of three things. Price will either consolidate around this area. It's just going to churn traders around this area to see who's on the buy side or the sell side. And then eventually it's going to push away, right? It's going to push below or it's going to push above. And then what's going to happen from there? It's going to push right back to open, right? It does the same thing. If you guys have been following me on these live sessions for the past, month or so, this is literally what's been happening every single day. This is what happened yesterday. This is what happened the day before. Price will push away and then it'll just come right back to opening price. And this is a key thing with trading, guys. It's just really understanding these patterns. If you trade one asset every single day for like multiple years, you start to see these patterns just repeat themselves. That's why initially I didn't really care about opening price, but over time I started to realize, okay, opening price is where price keeps getting pulled to. It's like a magnet. So there's a couple strategies that people would apply, like the back to open strategy, right? Price would pull away. And then if they see a V1 variation, like say if price pushes down a little bit, right? And they see a really strong V1 variation on say like the higher time frame, the 5 or 10 minute, then they ride that all the way back to opening price. Vice versa, same in the opposite direction, right? They see price pushing up over here, and then they see price coming back down. They just ride that back to open. There's a lot of different ways to apply it, but I mean, I feel like that's a risky way of trading because when you trade that way, you're kind of just you're trading on chance. It's all you're gambling that price is going to go back to opening price. There's no guarantee it's going to come back to opening price. I think the probability is actually not that high, because it'll happen a couple of times, but you never really know when it's going to stop happening. So for example, right here, see how price is kind of stuck at the support. Some people would ride this, like if they saw a V1 variation or something, they would just ride this back to open. And I wouldn't be surprised if this here goes back to open, right? It's not like a crazy concept, because it's probably going to happen. So if you watch this right here, like I wouldn't be surprised if this goes here. I would give it maybe a 50% chance that price will come back to that opening line right there. Maybe higher, maybe like a 70% chance, but nowhere near 100. And look where it went. It went exactly to where we identified. Price came down, came right back to open, same pattern. And this is the stuff that you learn if you trade something so often. So like for me, I personally recommend that you guys, like, if you guys really want to get really good at trading, like very consistently, and you want to have a routine down, I would just focus on one asset. Like I see a lot of people who still try to trade NASDAQ, or they try to trade gold, or they try to trade all this other stuff. That's completely fine, but it's fine until it doesn't work, right? The thing with US30 here is that I know exactly how it moves. So the odds of me losing a trade are very, very unlikely. I just keep stacking my wins over and over and over again. It's just the same routine every single day. Natasha said, Sean, I missed where you said nearest liquidity prices were. Sure, no problem. So the nearest low level liquidity is right here. It actually just got touched right now. It's at 35,552, so it faked out and then it's coming back down. So I think if it comes down a second time, it's probably going to break through at this next attempt right here. So faked out right there on the initial touch, and then it's coming back down right here. The higher level liquidity is 35,684. So 35,684 up top, down below it's 35,52. Price touched it, but it didn't necessarily break through. I think liquidity is probably sitting below this a little deeper. I think sells here for liquidity is just a little risky. I mentioned this before because retail sentiment is very high for a buy, so I'm not really expecting to have a little bit, like, a really strong push to the downside. I mean, they'll probably hit it. I think if it tested another 2 or 3 times, it'll probably break through. Liquidity, in my opinion, is actually like farther below. The reason why I think it's farther below is because this is a lower time frame. So if you're looking at liquidity on a lower time frame, you actually want to wait for price to drop a little bit lower, because there's probably not a lot of stop losses sitting there since this is a lower time frame. Like if you're trading on the 10-minute, you're not going to have a very tight stop loss, right? You're going to have a very wide stop loss versus, in the higher time frames where you just have it set at that specific price point. So if price comes down again, I'm expecting it to probably come down and actually break through. Might not be on this touch, it might be on the next touch, but that's kind of where I see price going. All right, so price is dropping right here. It's now pretty bearish at this point. I think we missed our entry right here, guys. Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention, but I don't know if it touched it right here. Actually, we did miss a sell here. I wasn't paying attention when price dropped because let me see if I have my circle drawn up. Yeah. So you guys see the circle right here? I totally missed it, guys. So this is my bad. Price came down to this point. It retraced right here. The entry actually would have happened right here. And I screwed up. I totally missed it. I wasn't paying attention because I was looking at the other chart. But it did hit TP right there. I don't know if anybody caught it. Did anybody catch it? This is the area that we were looking for. Natasha said, my bad, y'all. I distracted you. Yeah, it's all good, Natasha. Yeah, I went to the full TP. So yeah, guys, if you guys caught it, great work. Sorry, I was answering some questions and I just totally missed it. But this is the area that I was talking about. So I said, okay, I was waiting for price to come down here for the trend to confirm. And then once it confirmed, I was expecting price to pull up the entry at that point, and then we make entry at that point there. So it's all good, guys. We just missed that trade there. I'll wait for the next one. All right, also here is my top step account. All right, so I'm gonna send you guys my top step over here as well. Forgot to send that in earlier. All right, so here's my top step account. You can see I'm in profit 785 for the day, 100% win rate, all wins for the day. Yeah, it's all good. Here's some profits from Chow. Chow locked in a total profit of 750 for the day. Nice work, Chow. Yeah, solid work, guys. You guys are doing pretty good so far. Now that we missed this entry here, unfortunately, we have to wait for another setup to appear. So there's no entries for us right now. We just got to wait for another momentum signal here to provide a reset. See, so liquidity right there got hit on that second touch, like I mentioned. Faked it on the first one, touched on it, broke through on the second one because the liquidity was actually sitting below. The next level of liquidity down below Rashida is going to be 35,465. It's going to be a higher level of liquidity. It's probably going to be the 1 hour or 4 hour. So nice. Kaner over here took the lower liquidity, hit it for TP of 10 points. Nice work, Kaner. Brian over here caught it as well. James caught it. Nice work, guys. Yeah, so if you guys have props to post up, feel free to send them in. I'm going to be waiting for the next opportunity here to come up. I mean, for the most part, it's looking fine. Nice. Natasha got in for a partial. Yeah. Nice to see. Yeah, it's all good, guys. If as long as you guys are profiting off my analysis, I'm good with it, right? If I miss a trade, it's cool. That's just part of my trade psychology. I'm at a point where I don't really care if I miss a trade. Kind of sucks because it would have been nice to have a trade, but as long as you guys are profiting, that just helps me with my confidence, right? If you guys are profiting off these trades here that I mark up and you guys take them and you guys win, that's just better. It's better proof of concept to me because it helps me understand like, hey, my strategies work and they work really well. So when I do take the trades, I feel comfortable and I don't feel nervous about taking anything. So whenever I see an entry, I just take it and I don't really care if I win or I lose. Odds are I'm probably going to win, but I'm not really nervous because I know a lot of you guys get really scared when you guys take a trade. Like you guys will take a trade and then your heart will drop. Just start sweating the entire time. For me, I just stay calm and cool, and composed, right? Because that's how you guys have to be when you guys trade. You guys can't let your emotions get the best of you. Because if you let the emotions take over, you're either going to close out of the trade early or you're going to get greedy and you're not going to close out when it hits TP. That's the thing that always happens with a lot of people. So you just got to be able to control your emotions and not take trades off emotion. All right, man, Harvey, we'll see you back here tomorrow. Tyler got into the liquidity for a partial move. Nice work, Tyler. All right, guys, good work so far. At 7:10 right now, we still have a lot of time, so don't worry, guys. I'm looking for another possible entry here. The market's picking up just like we thought, right? So I mentioned this on Monday to you guys. For NFP week, usually if the market sucks Monday, Tuesday, it's going to pick up on Wednesday. And that's exactly what happened today. Market's moving really nice. ATR is up 17 right now. It's moving pretty smooth, pretty much all session. We took one trade, full TP. We missed a second trade. It's all good. It happens. But other than that, I mean, we're pretty much doing pretty solid so far. And the reason why we know that is because I've been trading NFP for years now, right? If you guys trade NFP, especially US30, you guys start to see a pattern like I mentioned earlier. And again, that's another reason why I would recommend that you guys, if you guys do decide to trade, one asset, just focus on one and don't really go away from it, because once you get really good at trading one asset, like for me here, US30, it pretty much made all the difference with my trading. Because I don't really have to look at my watch list anymore. I think the worst part about trading was like looking at your watch list when you had like 16 pairs to trade and you wouldn't know what to trade and they all move different. Shiv is asking, hey, sorry, joining late. Could you go over the pattern you mentioned early regarding NFP? Sorry, Shiv, I don't know what you're talking about. So for NFP, typically, yeah. So the way it moves, so for NFP week, NFP is usually the first week of each month. There's a couple different patterns. Either the weeks can be very volatile throughout the week. So like sometimes it'll be NFP week, and I'll make a ton of profit because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, every day is good, right? There's a lot of volatility. That's one way. So one way is either volatile every single day. The second way is how this week is running. It's going to be kind of slow and choppy Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday it picks up. It's volatile again, or it's volatile how it should be. And then worst case scenario, market's flat pretty much all week, Monday to Thursday, and then Friday it starts to pick up. So there's three different scenarios that usually play out for NFP. And I just know this from experience from trading NFP for so many years. Basically we have 12 NFPs a year, and I've been trading live with you guys for nearly 7 years now. So, 12 times, that's a lot of NFPs. So 12 times 7, we basically traded like 84 NFPs together. So, after trading that many NFPs, you start to realize like, okay, this is how the market moves. Because like, we'll get a lot of frustration during NFP. Like a lot of people will be really frustrated with like how price is moving. And then you just start to realize that after a couple of years, you're like, okay, this is typically how it moves. So there's no need to get frustrated because that's normally how it moves. So yeah, Shiv, that's pretty much how it is. It's not rocket science. It's really just understanding how the market moves. The thing with me is I have a really good memory. I have really good photogenic memory. So like when I start seeing these charts, that's why I'm able to identify these patterns very well. Because I see these patterns every day. So like me having the photogenic memory, I just look at the screen and I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. Or I see something move a certain way, and I already know that's how it's going to move next. Because it just comes from experience. So, all right, guys, we have a buy signal right here. This is a retracement. If we get another sell signal here and price drops a bit lower, then we have a possible opportunity for entry here for a sell. The ATR is starting to drop a little bit. It's currently at 16, so the volatility is definitely slowing down. So I'm hoping we could get something soon. If not, we might have to like sit tight for a little bit and wait for the volatility to pick back up. But we did have our win for the day, so. Yeah, D photographic. Yeah, photographic memory. Let's see. All right, so we got price coming down right here. Let's see if we get that sell signal. ATR is currently at 15, so it's still okay. It's not great, but it's okay. If we do get the sell signal, I'll mark up the area that I'm looking for entry. But I mean, we'll see. Yeah, the thing with me is I like to look at patterns. So even though I'm not a pattern trader, I like to see patterns here to see where price pushes. That's why I started trading momentum and trend. Because if you look at momentum and trend here, a lot of patterns repeat themselves, right? We have a sell signal, trend's bearish, price comes down, comes up, comes down, comes up, comes down, etc. And you just have to understand like when to apply it. So right here, we don't have the sell signal yet. Once we get the sell signal, we'll be looking for the entry. But until then, we just got to sit tight and wait. All right, we got some profits over here from Andrew. Andrew locked in a total profit of 1,120 for the day. Nice work, Andrew. Solid profit right there. All right, this thing's starting to dump. Let me just move these down here. I don't really need that many lines. Andrew said Filipino Mike Ross, like I said last week, right? Yeah, Mike Ross trading. And that show's pretty good. If you guys have ever seen Suits before, or if you guys haven't seen Suits, you guys should probably watch it. It's pretty good. You know, Suits is kind of like what got me into trading as well. Like Andrew's watching Suits, and there's this episode in Suits where this guy mentioned that like there were two lawyers, and he basically said like, you know, the difference between them two is that he knows that the real money is in trading. So he went from a lawyer to a trader, and that kind of like made me think like, this guy's right. Traders make way more money than lawyers. And that's when I started to like, it really sparked my interest in trading. And I mean, it's cool. I was able to bring my knowledge from being a lawyer to trading, and it helps me think logically, and it helps me become realistic with like my trading here. I feel like a lot of people hate on school, but school kind of teaches you a lot of things. It teaches you discipline and basically, you know, just following directions. Like that's the main thing with especially trading with me. It's like if you can follow directions, you can do very well at trading. There's a lot of people who have no experience trading, but they listen to me and they follow directions and they do very well. The people who typically don't do well don't follow directions. Like I'll tell you not to take a trade and you still take it. You blow your account, you wonder why. It's like a back and forth thing with a lot of people. All right, so we don't have a sell signal here yet, guys. We're waiting for that sell signal. Once the sell signal closes, then our entry is probably going to happen somewhere down here. So what I need to happen here is I need that sell signal to come up. Once it comes up, I need price to come down a little lower, retrace, and continue dropping from this point right here. So we'll see where this ends up going. Nice, yeah. Shiv said Lincoln Lawyer. I try to watch. I've seen the movie's good, so I don't know if you've seen the movie Lincoln Lawyer. Shiv, I know there's a TV show. The movie's good. I need to see the TV show though. I've watched some of it, but not all of it. Kind of similar concept. Rashida said price is about 50 pips or 50 points away from liquidity. Nice. So liquidity here is going to line up with our entry, Rashida. So it looks good. If that becomes the case where price continues to drop lower, it's going to line up with our liquidity or with our momentum pullback. So if price comes down like this, that same pattern, that's pretty much what we're looking for over here too. So yeah, I think that's a good confluence. If that's the case, then I think our trade will play out because it's going to push towards liquidity, right? Liquidity is down here. This is where price needs to reach. And if that's the case, then it's going to go hand in hand with our momentum pullback scalp. Yeah, Gian mentioned billions. So once you guys watch Suits, move on to Billions. Billions is even more intense because Billions is about a hedge fund. That's like another TV show. If you guys just have like free time and you guys want to watch trading related TV shows, Billions is actually really good. So I think if you guys watch Suits and you watch Billions, your mind's gonna explode. You're gonna want to trade. So as soon as you watch Billions, you're gonna want to be at your computer and looking at the charts. I think Billions kind of like, I started watching Billions, I think 3 years ago or 4 years ago. That's when I started to trade live because I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to showcase my skill of trading. So yeah, if you guys haven't seen Billions, that's another good show with Axe Capital. Yeah, you guys should definitely. I think if you guys watch Billions, it's gonna make you want to trade even more because those guys are like, it's just crazy how they like the trading world. Once you like start to make a lot of money in trading, like a lot of money. Like I'd say like, you know, 6 figures is like baby money in trading. Once you start to make like in the millions and stuff, like how they do in Billions, like the opportunity is like crazy because then at that point they're like buying companies and they're using the trading money to buy other cool things like buying sports teams and stuff like that. So yeah, I think Billions is like next level because right now you're probably like a baby level, right? You're trying to get trading down, you're trying to get money from trading. Once you get money from trading, then you put that into other investments. That's kind of like where I'm at now. Like with trading, I don't expect myself to make a lot of money from actual trading. I make my money from trading and then I siphon that off into other investments, like, you know, opening other companies and stuff like that in real estate, etc. So yeah, I mean, trading is just a vehicle for me, guys. Like initially I thought, okay, trading is gonna be like my career. But really trading is just fun to me. Like trading with you guys here live this is fun to me. It's like playing a video game, but you get to make money playing it. So that's why I don't really have too much of a pressure here when I'm trading. Because when I trade with you guys here live, this money just goes into other stuff. It's not this isn't I don't live off this money. The money from trading is just it's just a vehicle for me to put that money into other bigger investments that are going to make me even more money in the future. All right, so let's see. Yeah, Indigenous said, or Donovan said, Axe is coming back. And I got to rewatch the last season. I haven't gone to the last season yet. All right, so we still don't have the sell signal here, guys. You know, like I mentioned earlier, we're waiting for that sell signal. Once we get that sell signal, we can start looking for a possible continuation to the downside. The volatility right now is still pretty decent. It's at 15 right now. So it's not really 16 now, so it's good. It's still moving. And that's what we want. We want price to continue moving. If price starts to die down, that's not going to be a good thing. But if price continues to move, then we can have possible entry here. So we're looking for a sell signal. Once we get that sell signal, we'll look for the retracement, and then we'll look for the continuation back to the downside. Next liquidity is going to be right here at 35,465. You're right, Natasha. That's the next level of liquidity. Unless Rashida has a different level of liquidity, which could be the case. This is what I have here on my screen. So yeah, I think this is what Rashida was talking about because it's about 500 pips away. So it's at 35,466, but sorry, 35,465. It's just the volatility here is pretty low. It's not really that far from it. It's just the volatility is low, so price isn't moving too much. But I mean, realistically, it's only like about 500 pips away. So it's not too far away. It's just the market's moving very slow right now. Yeah, same one that Rashida has. All right. Shiv said, is this the start of a bearish trend? I think this is short-term, Shiv, because NFP's on Friday. I think this is setting up for Friday. So I don't think this here is going to keep pushing. I think once we get to Friday for NFP, price is going to spike right back up. I think this here is just a trap. It's a huge trap being set up for NFP. If the sentiment stays at 80%, then it's definitely a trap. I definitely see this being a trap, and I see price spiking all the way back to the upside closer to Friday. If this here drops, so if this drops from like 70 to like maybe 65, then yes, we might see a shift in trend. But I doubt that's going to happen because there's so many people on the sell side right now. They're not just going to drop price and let all these people make money, right? It's not going to happen. All right, we have the sell signal right here, guys. Thanks, Rashida, for the heads up. We got the sell signal right there that closed. I need price to be somewhere down here for me to make entry. The only problem is that we have news right here at 7:30. So yeah, it's going to kind of mess with our entry there. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, Kevin just mentioned we have news in 5 minutes. So let me check the news event again at 5 o'clock or 7:30. It's loaded medium news. It's basically oil news. It's our typical oil news for the month. Yeah, we got crude oil inventories at 7:30. It's not high impact, but you guys remember this kind of screwed us over like a couple months ago. A couple months ago, like we typically don't look at crude oil inventories because it's like whatever, but we took a trade and then price happened to overlap with the crude oil, and then it ended up like going opposite of our trade. So I'm going to be a little cautious with this entry here. I actually don't mind if price just consolidates here for a bit, or even if we get a buy signal. If we get a buy signal, that's fine, because once price hits news over here, it'll maybe swing right back down. So just, you know, keep that in mind. Kenny said FTMO restricted news. I don't think this is restricted for US30, but let me go check anyways. Check. Thanks, Kenny, for the heads up. Yes, it's a restricted event. You're right. Actually, so it's only for crude oil, Kenny. So it is restricted, but only for crude oil. So you can see over there, it says the instrument and it says crude oil. So you can still trade US30, you just can't trade oil. You can trade pretty much any asset except for US oil. But yeah, no, it's good to know. It's a different Kenny. Kenny said I didn't say that. There's another Kenny here, Kenny. So if you scroll up in the chat, there's a Kenny that's in yellow, and you're Kenny Scott in blue. So you're a different Kenny. I was kind of confused at first too. I wasn't sure if that was you, Kenny, on a different username. Yeah, I think there might be like 3 Kennys here. Kenny says so many Kennys, lol. Yeah, no, it wasn't you, Kenny Scott. If it's you, Kenny Scott, I'll refer to you as Kenny Scott. So we know it's not you. And for the other Kenny, we'll call him Kenny because that's just his name. His name is Kenny. All right, so we have nothing here, guys, right now. We have news coming up in about 2 minutes, so just sit tight, guys. Let's wait for the news to pass, and then we'll see where this ends up going. It wouldn't really matter because even if we were looking for entries, our entry would have to happen down here. So we just gotta wait for confirmation. All right, 7:30 right now. The volatility is starting to die down a bit. It's at 14. I'm hoping it picks back up. If it doesn't pick back up, we might just get a sideways movement from now until 8 o'clock. This is kind of similar to what happened yesterday. It's not as bad though. So yesterday was really slow. Today's not as bad because we got up to at least 7:30 and then the volatility started to die down, which is kind of normal. Typically when it gets closer to 8, the volatility starts to die down. But I mean, we made it pretty far today. We made it till 7:30 until price started to slow down a bit. Again, guys, this is summer conditions. So this is normal for summer. Once fall start to roll around, once we get closer to September, you should expect volatility to be pretty high throughout the session. So pretty much 6:30 straight until 8. All right, we got news coming up right here in 30 seconds. I don't think it's going to push price very much, but I'm hoping it pushes price so that we can at least get our ATR up to like maybe 15 and then maybe drop it down a little bit. Randy's asking about the 5-minute pullback. Let's see. Possibly, but there's still news coming up right here. So, so if you're looking for a 5-minute pullback, it would happen at this higher level right here. Yeah, so this is where the pullback would be. The volatility is too low though, so I probably wouldn't even mess with it, but that's where the pullback would be. So guys, if you guys are trading the 5-minute, you still have to look at the ATR here on the 1-minute, right? The ATR is currently at 13, so I wouldn't have taken the trade here. The volatility is just too low. You're gonna be holding on to this position for way too long. But yeah, if you wanted to take the momentum pullback scalp on the 5-minute, Randy, it would be right here. The ATR is currently 29 actually. ATR is pretty low. And it's on the news channel, so I probably wouldn't take. If you want to take it, I'd probably take it as a late entry. So I wouldn't take it right now. I'd wait for it to maybe come back down after, because we have. I mean, obviously, there's news channel right there, and it looks like there was actually a push. So, like I mentioned before, guys, we typically don't pay too much attention to the crude oil inventories, but this is kind of what happened last time. If you guys remember, we took like I think a V1 variation. And we were like, okay, it's crude oil. It doesn't really push price too much, but it actually pushed price a lot right here. So this candle compared to every other candle previously, I mean, it's a pretty big push. Yeah, 25 points. 25 points with an average ATR of 13. So it pushed more than almost double what the ATR was. So you can see right here that this is based off news, right? We got the news candle right there at 7. This is how you guys can see if the candle is manipulated. So if the candle is manipulated off news, you just look at the ATR. The ATR is 13. That says the average range in the past 14 candles, right? If this one candle pushes way past it, then in that case, you know, this is probably going to be a news candle, right? Or it's based off the movement's based off the news. So we actually have a V1 variation setting up right here. I mean, I wouldn't take this trade, but it is a V1 variation that's setting up right there. This will probably hit. I think this right here. So this is the movement from the candle, and then price is now just correcting back down. But again, it's not one I would take because this movement here was based off the news, and it just becomes too risky at that point. Yeah, Sisu said great call. Thanks, Sisu. Yeah. And again, this just comes from experience, guys, right? Like for this crude oil inventories, we've seen this news event come up like every week, basically. I think crude oil does come up every week. And we just understand how it moves, right? Because we see it happen like almost, I mean, literally every week. I think it's every week on like on Wednesday or every 2 weeks. Crude oil news comes out and we see how price reacts to it. All right, so there's no entries for us here. The ETR is kind of picking up a bit. It went from 14 to 15. And we are now just all right, CC. Let me see if there's anything here that I'm missing. All right, we got some more profits over here from Andrew. Andrew said got lucky. He thought it was a high level momentum at 712, but didn't close above pivots 2, pulled out in profit. Total profit of 2,025 for the day. Nice work, Andrew. Yeah, solid profits right there. We got Patricia over here too. Patricia total profit of 1,570 on her first account. All win. Second account total profit of 1,670. All wins there as well. And then her last account over here total profit of 1,664 for the day. Nice work, Patricia. All right, you guys are doing good. I think those are all the profits for now so far. All right, so the volatility's pretty much died down a bit. So volatility's died down a bit, plus, I mean, there's just not much movement here. You can kind of see here, like even without the ATR, you guys can see that the market's not really doing too much. It's just going sideways right here. I wouldn't be surprised if it pulls right back up to opening price. Right, let's go to the clean chart again. So here's the clean chart. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to update the structure so that you guys can see things better. I'm going to turn on the high-low indicator. I'm going to use the high-low indicator to identify the structure. So we got structure right there. All right, so here's a clean chart, as you guys can see. Not really too much going on here. Price is climbing, but it's barely climbing. So if you measure from this low point to here, this isn't even a climb, right? It's pushed up 400 pips. So this might not even push up. It might just go sideways from this point. Right, this is what might just happen. Price might just go sideways. Typically, if there's a climb here, it's going to be a lot stronger. It's going to be like, you know, each leg is going to be at least like 300 to 500 pips, typically 500 pips. You can see each leg here didn't really push up too much. Price pushed up, leg went up 23 points, which is 200 pips. Next leg, 200 pips. It's not really doing anything. I think this is just going to consolidate around this area. What might happen here is this is probably what's going to happen. It's just going to go sideways like that. Right there. Right, and that's literally what's happening. So the volatility right now is pretty dead. Not really too much going on. It's not a good time to make entries. ATR is currently at 14. I mean, I'll follow it and we'll see if there's another entry that comes up here, but you know, we want to be careful with these entries here. So we got a signal right here, sell signal. I need price to drop a little lower to, I'm going to see where this closes. If this closes right here, entry might be okay right here. If it closes below it, obviously I need entry down here. Sell signal right there disappeared. We really just need this here to close. Once it closes, we can start looking for possible areas of entry. All right, so the volatility is picking back up. This is a good thing. All right, so this is kind of tough because the thing is, I actually need price to push away from this area. So where price is currently at right here, I need price to push away. It needs to be a sharp push. So a sharp push to the downside, and then possibly retracement and continuation. So there's a couple of different scenarios here. This is what can happen. Price can drop a little lower, retrace. I'll make entry right there. Great, right? If that's not the case, and I need price to drop a little lower, retrace right there, and I'll take my entry right there, right? So two different opportunities right here. The volatility is kind of low. It's at 14. I was hoping it'd pick up a little more. When this candle closed, it closed at 15. So we did have some, at least a little bit of a push. But again, we need some actual movement here. We can't just have price going sideways. So right here, I need another red candle. If this here doesn't close red, then we probably won't have an entry right here because the volatility is too low. I can't do this green candle. The green candle is not going to be helpful for us. Thanks, Andrew. Andrew said retail sentiment's now at 78. Good to know. All right, perfect. Volatility is starting to pick up right here. All right, so if this closes, now we're just going to wait for the retracement, but I need this to close a little farther down. It can't close halfway. You need to close a little lower because if it closes too high, then there's not going to be opportunity for us right here, right? Because if price retraces up, there's not going to be any room for us to really take any entry at that point. So I need this to come down a little bit lower. Okay, it's not really looking too great. We'll see how this candle here closes. The problem with this here is that if this closes green, it's going to be so close to this level right here that I don't want to take it. I need price to actually push away and then retrace. All right, we got 40 seconds on this candle right here. We'll see how far this ends up pushing through. All right, we got 15 seconds on this candle right here. What is possible entry? Yeah, like the 20 mark. All right, so the volatility here is pretty low. But the entry would happen right here if it does end up playing through. So the entry would be there, right there. Okay, if it pushes up too far like that, then obviously no entry. But if it closes like halfway between this black line and this black line, between the 20 and the 10, if it closes like around 15 right here, then I can make entry right there at the 20. If it closes too close to the 20, I'm not going to mess with it. Because at that point, price can easily just swing up, right? It's too close. I'm not going to take it, guys. Well, I mean, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't have filled. The volatility is just too low, guys. The last thing I want to do is get caught in this position and hold on to it for longer than I need to. So I'm not in this position right here. I marked it up for you guys, but I'm not in it. The volatility is just too low right now. It's at 14. The last thing I want to do is hold on to this and then have to be stuck with it longer than I need to. I mean, it's probably gonna hit TP, but you guys can see the movement here. It's like snail movement, so slow. Randy said the 5-minute pullback hit TP, but he didn't take it. Yeah, so the 5-minute entry over here that we identified with Randy earlier, it retraced up a little bit, but it ended up coming straight down to full TP. So if you guys took it, nice work off that 5-minute. The 1 minute over here is still running, but I'm not in the position. The volatility is just too low right now. I don't like how it's moving. You can see the ATR is currently at 13. So see, if I was in this position right here, I would be a little stressed out because I'd be like, man, this thing is not moving at all. I mean, it's in profit, but it's not really moving too much. So I do think it'll hit TP, but it's just too slow. Typically, like this would have hit our TP by now, right? It'd be like order filled, and then a few minutes later, order filled to TP. Yeah, it looks like it's about to hit too. Yep, full TP. So if you guys took it, great. I didn't take it, unfortunately, so I'm not going to count it. I'm only counting trades that I'm personally taking myself. But yeah, hit full TP right there. And also, Andrew mentioned that there's a double body. So there's double body rejection right here as a reversal pattern. So it's, there's a lot of red flags there. And then all of a sudden, the volatility picks up. Actually, it's still at 14. So if you guys caught it, great work. If you guys didn't, I mean, both the trades here hit. 5-minute hit full TP, and the 1 minute over here hit full TP as well. Kenny said, looks like we're in a strong area of support. Yeah, I agree. It's a strong area. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a strong area of support. I would say it's more so just like an area of consolidation because the volatility is super low. If so, say for example, the volatility was high and it kept testing that area, like it kept bouncing off it like very quickly, then I would consider that a strong level of support. So it can be a strong level of support if the volatility picks up, which will probably pick up in the next, maybe say 30 minutes to an hour from now. So if you keep looking at this level where price is currently at, like on the clean chart, like if the volatility picks up and it starts to bounce off it like a lot quicker, then I would expect it to establish as a strong level of support. The thing that you want to be careful for, like I feel like this is a big problem with a lot of people is they see what you see, right? Okay, they see this as a level of support. And what happens is they just enter a buy there because they're like, okay, this is a support, right? But like I mentioned, in the next 30 minutes to an hour, when volatility picks up and the ATR here picks up, you can see the ATR is currently at 14. When the ATR picks up to like say 15, 16, 17, this support is actually, its price is likely to just blast right through it. So we didn't really use ATR very much in the past. I've always been using it. I just never really told anybody that I was using it because I didn't think it was very relevant. But now that we've been using it, it helps a lot because you can see if, like we mentioned, if this is considered a support or if this is just considered an area of consolidation. Because right now the volatility is so low that I'm seeing this as an area of consolidation versus support. It's not really having a push. But once the volatility picks up, I think it'll just blast right through it, to be honest. Personally, that's what I'd see. Or you might see a bigger fake out. Like what might happen here is you see like price come down, fake out, and come right back up. And that's like the worst, right? It's the worst when you chase it because you think price is going to drop or you think price is going to bounce, and then it does the complete opposite. Like a huge spike comes out of nowhere. So what I would consider this is actually what Rashida mentioned earlier. I would consider this a squeeze. So this is a consolidation going into a squeeze because the volume is going down. And you can see right there where it kind of came down a little bit. So I see this as a squeeze. And then once this picks up, eventually it's going to break out, right? It's going to break out. Once it breaks out, then the volatility is going to pick up from there. So you can see here how it's breaking down below. It's a tricky area to trade in, to say the least. Yeah, Rashida said she didn't take it because of the double body. I agree. I wouldn't have taken it either, Rashida. So I think I would have been with you on that one. It's just too risky, right? Like, especially on a day like this where the market's not really doing too much. I mean, it was doing a lot earlier and then it died down around 7:30. You just got to be smart about your positions. If you don't feel comfortable and you feel like it's a bit of a risky entry, then I would just skip it for the most part. Yeah, Randy said that he didn't take it because it was still in a range. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Randy. That's another reason why I wouldn't take it either. Exactly. Yeah, Randy said ranging pullback trades are coin flips. Yeah, that's really what it is. If the volatility is not high enough, like it would be okay if the range was like pretty wide, right? Like say for example, ATR was like 20, right? If ATR was 20, yeah, it would range, but it would just blast through your TP eventually, right? So if it's a range and the volatility is high, then it's fine. But if it's not, then it's actually not good because it just ends up being flat. And then you can be stuck in that position longer than you want to. I agree. Yeah, James said the ATR is a game changer. Yeah, it helps us avoid bad trades. I think that's the key thing. It really helps us avoid bad trades, which could end up pretty horribly in a lot of instances. But yeah, guys, we're getting close to 8 o'clock. So if there's any questions that you guys have, or if there's any profits that you guys want to send in, feel free to send them in, and then we can take a look and I can answer whatever questions you guys have before we wrap this up for the day. We had one official trade. There was a couple of trades that came up today, but only one official trade. I think there was about 4 or 5 entries that we identified here in the live session. Looks like a lot of you guys here did lock in profits off those trades. But only one official trade that I took. So you can see over here, I have a 100% win rate for the day. Just one trade. Total profit of, doing the math here now. So like 1,010, 860, 860, 960, 560, 560, 560. Total profit of 5,370 for the day. Negative $2 for my Hinko account, but it's not really much. All right, we got Kevin over here. Kevin, total profit of 681 for the day. Nice work, Kevin. Solid profit right there. We got Randy over here as well. Total profit of 1,165 for the day. Nice work, Randy. Yeah, solid profit right there. We got Gian over here. Total profit of 3,860. Gian took that last trade. Nice work, Gian. Full TP on that move. Perfect. Yeah, Gian said he's out, died down after 7:30 like yesterday. Momentum's coming out like every 5-10 minutes. Yeah, I agree, Gian, 100%. Other than that, I think that might be it. I don't think we're going to get another buy signal from now until 8 o'clock, guys. So it's just kind of pointless for us to stay on here. In order for us to have another entry, we need to have a buy signal and then another sell signal. So we need a buy signal to confirm retracement. And then we need a sell signal to confirm the continuation to the downside. Retracement, continuation, and that's where our entry would be. But I'm not really expecting this to happen within the the next 10 minutes or so. All right, if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, if there's nothing here, we're probably gonna wrap this up soon. There's no entries for us to take here. There's no need to force anything. I think that's the main thing, guys. You don't need to force anything. Another reminder, we still have 2 days left in this trading week. Today's Wednesday. We got Thursday, Friday, and then we're gonna wrap it up for the week. So let's see if there's anything else here for me to look at before we wrap it up. And that looks good for the most part. All right, let's see if there's anything else here for me to look at before we wrap it up completely. We got Cameron over here, total profit of 1,180 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Cameron. Looks like you took that last trade that we marked up there. Solid work. We got Paul over here, Paul with a nice recovery, total profit of 910 for the day. Great work, Paul. Yeah, it's going to take a slow climb back to the upside. Here's Maddie over here. Maddie identified that. Assuming that's liquidity that Maddie marked up. I'm not sure where you marked. Oh, you probably marked it from here. The high-low scalp. Yeah, there's a lower low right there. Maddie identify that as a high-low scalp. Actually, I don't know if this would be a high-low scalp, Maddie, because there's a because it already tested. So like it tested it like 1, 2, like 3 times before I hit it. I mean, if you're applying it where you're entering after the test, that's fine too. But I mean, it's still considered like somewhat of a high-low scalp. It just wouldn't be like the original. Gotcha. Yeah, no, definitely CSU. Yeah, we've talked about that before. There's different ways to apply it. A lot of times like that, I actually like applying it that way too, the way that you do it, Maddie and CSU, because you're able to basically wrinkle out the fake out. So like fake out, broke through right there, and it actually drops through. So that's another way of doing the high-low scalps. I mean, there's a ton of ways to apply my strategies, guys. It just depends on how you want to apply it, right? So like I give you the framework, the foundation, I give you guys the tools. And then if you guys have different variations to my strategies, you guys are more than welcome to apply them. Even I apply them somewhat differently sometimes. They're not always the same. Gotcha. Yeah, Maddie said it lined up with my analysis of the support being broken as well. Yeah, no, definitely, Maddie. Lined up perfect and it played through. Yeah, like Kenny, like we mentioned earlier, right? We were talking about how this is not really, I wouldn't consider it a sport. And it played out exactly how we thought right there again. As the volatility picked back up. It's just a slow market right now because it's summer. So, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. There's no need for us to really force anything here. I don't want you guys to get any FOMO from our analysis here or from looking at other people's profits. I feel like that's a big problem with a lot of people. Guys, whenever you guys are trading, don't worry about whatever anybody else is doing, right? Like for me, I don't care if someone's making like 10K, 20K a day, right? I know that I'm doing good and that I'm doing things properly. So that's all that really matters. So with you guys too, if you guys are trading, don't get FOMO just because you see like you see all these people here posting profits, right? You see Paul here posting 900 bucks, Cameron, etc. Well, you probably won't get FOMO from these guys because we only took one trade today. But if you see someone like Stern here, right? Stern's probably a really bad example because you see how he took like 10 trades here. The thing with this, guys, is that you guys don't know if this is like every trade he's taking or every trade he's just taking today. If you guys see somebody taking like 5-10 trades, don't get FOMO and think that you need to be taking 5-10 trades. Like for me, I only took one trade today, right? I took one trade across like 8 accounts. I'm in profit a total of 5,300 today. So that's all it really takes, guys. Once you get good, focus on like 1-2 good trades a day, add on multiple funded accounts, and then your payouts will just multiply from there. So yeah, all right, guys, I think that's it for today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. There's not really any need for us to force any trades for today. It's one of those days. So, all right, guys, just keep calm. I'd probably recommend not to trade today, guys. Remember that it's NFP week. So I know a lot of you guys try to trade after I get off the live session, but if you guys don't need to trade, which majority of you guys don't, I would just sit out. So other than that, guys, I will see you guys back here tomorrow for the next live session.